Hi, I'd like to talk to you about epidemics. Let's start with AIDS. Back in 1982, it was just the tip of the iceberg. The United States Center for Disease Control estimated there were tens of thousands of cases. But it wasn't until 1988 that the U.S. Surgeon General had a large national AIDS education program, and since it took 6 years, we now have 1 million people around the U.S. that are HIV positive. This is an epidemic, exacerbated by the fact that it took the government to do something. Parental alienation in this country is an epidemic. Parents violating custody orders is an epidemic. And unfortunately, kids being stripped of loving parents is also an epidemic. There's a website called the Experience Project where you can find people that have similarities. One of the groups is I Love Apple Pie, but this group has been trumped by a larger group, which is I Lost My Children to Parental Alienation. Which means the phrase is no longer as American as apple pie. The phrase is really as American as having your children stripped from you for money. And I'm not one guy here complaining about a divorce or a custody situation. I'm the tip of the iceberg. If you don't believe me, jump on Facebook. Ask the 14,000 people at Divorce Corp. Ask Parental Alienation Worldwide Support Group, 5050rights.org, CRISP, ACFC, Leading Women for Shared Parenting, FixFamilyCourts.com, EndParentalAlienation.com, National Parents Organization, Father and Children's Equality, Alliance for Non-Custodial Parents' Rights, Non-Custodial Parents United for Family Law Reform, Parents Against Parental Alienation, April25.org, Kids Aiding Parental Alienation Awareness, Stand Up for Gus, Parents United for Change, California Coalition for Families of Children. But all these groups together are still just the tip of the iceberg. What's this area here? It's the silent masses. It is the parents that have been stripped of their kids. They are, in most cases, destitute and disillusioned with the system, and they're trying to figure out why their country has taken their kids away. Fortunately, we have ways of dealing with epidemics in this country. One of them is the Health and Human Services, which promotes the safety, well-being, and health development of our children. Under them is the Administration for Children and Families, which ensures children and families are safe, healthy, and economically secure. Under them, the Office of Family Assistance, which provides parents resources they need to care for their kids. Now, I hate to point this out, but one of the things I need to care for my kids is my kids. The good news is that all these organizations that I mentioned are fairly transparent. You can go online, you can figure out what their missions are, how much money they've got, who's running them. The bad news is they have a very limited vocabulary, which doesn't include terms like parental alienation or divorce, even though at least half the country is in a divorce. Now, I'd like to keep things on a positive note. So what I want to do is I want to send out a few invitations. First one goes to Sylvia Burwell, who's running up the HHS. And the next one goes off to Mark Greenberg of the ACF. And I'd like them to come to a couple conferences. First, I'd like to see them at the ISNAF Symposium. It is held October 17th in Long Beach, California. And it is the parental alienation experts on the planet. People with over 30 years of experience. Keep your calendar open. Then you need to get yourself to Divorce Corp's Family Law Reform Conference, which is happening the weekend of November 15th and 16th in Washington, D.C. where at this conference you will find out how family courts are a petri dish for parental alienation. You have the power and the responsibility of protecting our kids from harm. That includes if that harm is from our country itself. It is a system of checks and balances. What I'm saying here will probably seem as radical to some people, but I just see it as creative warfare. And let me tell you, creative warfare wins wars. Anybody that's dealing with parental alienation and the divorce courts can tell you that history is currently repeating itself. That this is a civil war, and that our kids are currently seen as possessions, and they're being stripped of loving parents. Thank you for your consideration. I hope to see you at the conferences. Please support my walk.